So we're here with Jennifer Farrell, and we're going to talk about her new design collection.
Yes, I have a furniture and accessories collection called the Jennifer Farrell Collection. Easy to remember. It is at Big Lots stores nationwide, and the new 2009 season will be coming out in May. It's something that I started last year with Big Lots. We were looking for a way to have a high-end level of furniture and accessories, something a little more designer than you would be able to get in your average department store or furniture store, but something that would still be able to be affordable for people. So this was our endeavor, and we started last year, and it was a big success. And so the Jennifer Farrell collection continues this May.
So I was just wondering, how did you come upon the pieces that you decided on to make your collection?
Well, I started working with Big Lots a couple years ago on the collection, and the idea behind it was, let's do something very high-end, very designer, that your average Joe would not normally be able to get on their own without having an interior designer to take them to trade-only shops and manufacturers. Now, I've worked with the folks at Big Lots. We've come up with this collection that we've done shopping throughout the world, met with different manufacturers all over the planet to create pieces that are very high-end, designer, one-of-a-kind pieces that anyone can buy now at Big Lots.
So, talking about your furniture line, what's going to happen show-wise? You've done a lot of shows previously, and I know you're working on something. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I've definitely been busy this year. It's been a very exciting time, and I can't tell too much. I'm working right now with Mark Burnett, who is the king of all producers.
So Mark Burnett also does design shows, not just Survivor.
Well, he's best known for shows like The Apprentice and Survivor. You know, he has these huge tentpole shows. And he's also worked with people like Martha Stewart. So he covers the reality gamut. And so we've started working together on a new project that I can't say too much about, so we have to keep it secret, but I'll just say it's right up my alley.
Great. I can't wait to see it.
I'm excited about it, and you'll be seeing it very soon.
So Jennifer, I wanted to talk to you about the small, tiny room you made over in New York on The View. It was a very, very tiny room and no place anyone would want to live, to be perfectly honest with you. It looked more condemnable than not. And you turned it around and shocked everyone that that tiny little room looked so livable, and I just wanted to move right in. So how did you do that?
Well, small spaces are always a challenge, and people in New York have tiny apartments. They have to serve lots of functions with very little space. The most important thing when you're designing a room that's small is to focus on space planning. You can have amazing pieces of furniture in a small room. You can even have big pieces of furniture, but space planning is so important. So what I do, and I recommend it to everybody, draw out your room first. Actually sit down with a pencil and a piece of paper, measure the space, and then draw things in to see how big an 8-foot couch is. See how it would look on this wall and this wall. Really figure out what areas you're going to be dealing with. What we did for the makeover on The View was I decided there needed to be 2 separate areas, a dining area and a living area. This was not a very big room, but once I knew what these spaces needed to contain, then I was able to pick out a smaller dining table instead of a larger one, 2 smaller chairs instead of a big love seat. That's how you can really figure out addressing these small rooms, is planning what the space needs first.
So Jennifer, you worked with Sherry from The View. How did you find working with her? Would you like working with her again?
I gotta tell you, Sherry Shepherd is pretty cool. She is a funny lady. We all know that. She's on The View. She's the funny sidekick on there. And she's been a stand-up comedian forever. But in real life, she's also that funny. And she's the sweetest woman you can imagine. She's so nice. Total strangers come up to her, she will hug them and kiss their babies, and she's a really cool lady, and she's tiny. You don't realize that watching people on TV, how big they are, but she's just this little skinny tiny woman, which on TV she seems larger than life, but in real life she's just so little.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Would you work with her again?
I had a lot of fun working with Sherry, and I would absolutely work with her again. We had great fun together on The View, and
good chemistry.
Great chemistry. She's easy to bounce off of, and she thinks on her feet very well, which is why she's such a star.
So Jennifer, on the flip side, you redesigned a very small space, but people live in other parts of the country where they buy very large houses and have no idea what to do with them. So how do you make big spaces friendly and look good rather than just be big?
I don't know what's harder, designing a really small space or designing a really large one. Because with a really small space, you realize there's only so much we can do here. With a really big space, the possibilities are endless. And that can be very, very intimidating. A lot of these mega homes have living rooms that are bigger than most people's houses. I don't know if everyone really realizes that space can be daunting, it can be unfriendly, and it can be wasted. So, although I'm not a big fan of the mega home, if you do have a super large space, my recommendation is to divide that space up into smaller units. If you've got a living room that's 40 by 40, why not have one area that's a conversation pit, one area that's a game area, one area that's a bar that you create, and then another area that's a TV watching place. Divide the space up into little nooks because it's going to feel cozier, people will feel more intimate, and they won't feel like they're in a barn.
Please tell us a little bit more about trends in Los Angeles and how we can copycat what you do cheaply and effectively without pulling our hair out.
Well, I have to say I'm a big fan of copycatting, and what's great now is that almost every home design store sends you a catalog, even if you don't want one, showing you pictures of what your room could look like. And you can buy everything in that picture from their store. I'm not the biggest person of buying everything from one store, but I am a great fan of stealing ideas. So take a look through those catalogs. Designers have put those spaces together so that they look picture perfect. Steal those ideas. Look how they've displayed art, or how many chairs they have in a room, or how they coordinate a sofa with a couch with a pair of seats. Use the ideas that are getting mailed to you for free.
So Jennifer, you have this lovely house in Venice. How did you come across this house, and what exactly did you do to it to make it look so beautiful?
I designed the whole house around the theme of like this arid desert beach oasis. So it's a very, very modern home, but of course the biggest trend in design right now is green design. So everything in my home is green, and I'm trying to encourage all of my clients to continue to go with the green movement. That can include everything from recycled materials to a gray water system to solar panels to just changing out your light bulbs. There's a lot you can do to help improve the planet, and part of my designing my own home is doing that very thing.
So the eco ideas are great, but not everybody knows what gray water is, or maybe they don't have recycling programs in their cities. So what are some good tips for people who just live in regular American towns that want to do their part but don't know how?
Well, I'm very frustrated in this country that not every city in America has recycling. I know that's an issue. If you have the wherewithal and the energy to do your own recycling, there are plants that you can drive your products to. If not, though, think about what you can take out of your trash. We put a lot of things into the garbage that don't need to be into the garbage. For example, instead of throwing away your water bottle, why don't you refill it with the water from your fridge? I use the same water bottle for about a year at a time. 29-cent water bottle, I never have to buy another one, and I just keep using it over and over again instead of throwing 3 water bottles a day into the garbage. Another great tip, do change out your light bulbs. Wait until your existing light bulbs die, because why throw away one that's good? Take it once it's dead and then replace it with a fluorescent light bulb. Another great tip to keep things out of the trash, take your food and put it into a separate container, because your food waste that is biodegradable doesn't need to be in a landfill where it's actually interfering with some of the degradation process.
All right, Jennifer, you look amazing. I want to know your secrets. How do you stay fit? How do you take care of your skin? What do you do with your hair?
Okay, well, I don't just design the world. I have to design myself as well. And I do live in Hollywood, where our image is very important here. The most important thing I ever tell people is treat yourself the way you would treat yourself if you, that's not even going to make sense. What I tell people about how to look their best is you have to treat yourself the best. You have to eat healthily. You cannot eat cheeseburgers and fries all day long. I don't care what Cameron Diaz says. You cannot eat like you want to be a 400-pound fat person unless you really want to be. So you have to eat well. You have to be healthy. Eating well does not mean fast food. It doesn't mean pizza every day. It means vegetables. It means fruits. It means whole grains. It means drinking a lot of water. It means no soda. That's the way I live. I'm a vegetarian. I do a lot of my own cooking instead of going out to restaurants. So the biggest thing is how you treat your body. I also work out pretty much every day. I go to a boot camp class that nearly kills me. So I work out really hard. I eat really well. I try to drink a lot of water. I stay out of the sun. I brush my teeth. I do all the things that you're supposed to do. And the bottom line is, if you don't take care of yourself the way that you know you're supposed to, you will never achieve the results that you want. I don't care when those cute teenagers on 90210 say, "Oh yeah, I eat burgers all day long." They're 18 years old. Once you start growing up, nobody can do that and maintain a healthy look. So if you want to be healthy, you have to eat healthy and you have to exercise.
Well, I shouldn't have eaten that cheeseburger today.